Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Got a special guest in the studio. But first, let's take a look at our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and a hard-working crew up there in Southport taking care of our everyday comfort needs. We're looking at a high today of 80, low of 67. And our water temperature has gone up 1 more degree since yesterday, folks. It is right at 76 degrees. So in a week's time, it's actually gone up almost 5 degrees. So that's been that really warm current that's brought things in here. Take a look at our river readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do with Mountain Dew. Apalachicola Bluntstown right at 10 foot. Got a little bit of a drop to it. It's still high though. And take a look at the Choctawhatchee at Caryville. It's reading a 6.8 this morning. And it's leveling off a little bit. A little bit of rain we had this week. I don't think it's going to affect it much, but it's going to be in good shape this weekend on the Choctawhatchee River. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn here on 23rd Street. We're in neap tides. We just don't have any tides today or tomorrow, or actually a little bit coming in Saturday, but not a lot of tidal flow this week. All right, water temperatures is important. They've really gone up. And the wind direction, how about coming out of southeast again in double figures at 12 miles an hour out of the southeast. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back with our special guest. All right, welcome back, folks, and welcome to our special guest this morning, one of my former students, Chase Smith.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you again. I call him Chase when he was my student, but now I call him Dr. Chase Smith because I've mentioned before several times on the show. He's been on one time before, a couple years ago, I think, when he was working on your master's and all. But, So let's go back. He is so interesting. He's home now visiting with his mom and dad, he and his wife and the kid, and right now you're living where?
So I'm in Austin, Texas, and I'm at the University of Texas at Austin right now.
Okay, all right. But now let's talk about your background before you made the University of Texas. Talk about a lot of our viewers up in Washington, Jackson County, know some of your folks and all up there, okay?
Sure, yeah. Well, first I'll say I'm a Mosley High School graduate, class of 2011. And yeah, my family has been in the Panhandle for quite a long time. My grandparents, Jack and Drew Brown, were in Marianna for a long time. And then on my dad's side in Bonifay, Florida, Orrin and Diane Smith. We've been in the Panhandle for a while.
Several generations, and I had Chase was our quarterback at Mosley High School, a fine quarterback, played a little bit of college ball, and then went on down after you got where'd you go after that?
Yeah, I went to the University of Florida.
Okay.
And I got a degree in wildlife ecology and conservation.
All right, and then your master's degree was?
Yeah. So I went to the U.S. Geological Survey in Gainesville. I worked there for 2 years, and then I actually went and got my PhD at Baylor University in Waco, Texas.
And that's when we started calling you doctor.
That's when you started calling me doctor.
Right. Remember when it was on before, folks, we talked about doing the bear studies, and studying, came up here in Apalachicola Forest and all. That was some cool stuff, and over to Eglin and all.
Yeah.
If we have time, I want to get back to some of those stories and all, but let's move on to you got your doctoral degree in studying what?
So I've been studying freshwater mussels. So they're found in the rivers and streams around here. They're really cool little critters. I like to call them nature's fishermen because they actually require some sort of fish to hold on to their larvae. And they've developed all these crazy fishing techniques, and they're better at fishing than we are.
Because they have to survive.
Yes.
And we don't know a lot about freshwater mussels. So you ever got your doctoral degree and married and a little kid now?
Yep. So I've got a son, Jackson, named after my granddad from Marianna, and he's now 1.5 years.
And your wife, she's able to work at home a lot, and so that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Last week they invited us out to the mom and dad's place out on the west end of the beach, and we just had a grand time. Gail couldn't make it, but she was sick, and we had a wonderful time. Ate well. We ate well.
Yes, we did.
Jason's dad owns the Ace Hardwares around here, and he had one of those Traeger grills, And that thing was full of food, all levels, all kind of stuff. And I knew we were going to eat well. It's one of those visits when you have with people, you just want to keep on visiting, but you had to get home because you had to get them to do a show the next day. But you've been in the outdoors your whole life. What inspired you to go into that kind of field?
Well, I've always just had a passion for wildlife. I've been an outdoorsman since I was a young guy, and just being able to protect the habitats that they live in and protect the critters that are there and keep everything pristine has really driven me to do what I do. And I really enjoy conservation work and being able to do that and feel like I'm making a difference.
You made a comment the other night. We were sitting around eating supper and all, and we were talking about the different things you were doing. And you made a comment that struck with me. Right now, you're walking around some pretty smart people. I guess you enjoy that kind of environment. Some people really take care of the outdoors and have this passion for it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really good to have these, bright minds getting into conservation science. And, it's definitely a growing field.
Well, how's the outdoors in Austin, Texas?
Well, there's not much of it in Austin, Texas that you can go hunt and fish in very well, but there's a lot of natural areas. But Texas definitely has its places where you can do some hunting and fishing.
Now, what does your job entail during the course of a day or week or this?
Yeah, it really depends on what we're doing. So right now our field season's about to go out. So it's a lot of me going to these really pristine rivers and snorkeling for mussels. Sometimes we dive for them. We also do a lot of fish sampling. So we'll do like shocking and seining for fish. So it's really cool field work. I have to say, I don't feel like I'm working when I'm out there.
What are you doing today, honey? Well, I'm going snorkeling.
Yeah, I'm going to go to this beautiful river in the hill country.
You mentioned this one time before we were talking about it. That really dictates, the mussels and all dictates the health of the river and a lot of times.
Yeah. So if we find these mussels, we know that the river's in pretty good shape. Just because we know that they are filter feeders and they're really sensitive to chemicals and things that we put in the rivers. And when they're there, the river's healthy and they'll actually filter every single drop of the water that comes on the river if there's a healthy bed.
That's amazing. We're going to take a quick break. Come right back with Dr. Chase Smith. Okay. Okay, welcome back. So here, one of my former students. I always love visiting with former students. Not all of them are doctors now, but they're all doing well. All the ones I get to visit are always fun. When I go to weddings and all, it's a lot of fun. And Chase has sort of reached the pinnacle of education when he got a doctoral degree, and we're very proud of Chase. And glad he got back in town for a week or two. And y'all caught some more pompano this week.
Yeah, I caught some more. It's been a little bit slow, but we've been able to catch a few.
And you headed back home on Sunday?
Heading back on Saturday.
I told him the pompano run's going to start Sunday morning.
That's right.
At about 7 a.m. They're going to chase us back in Texas now. Let's start coming up there to the west end of the beach. All right, we got some pictures. We're going to start with this one. Tell us about this picture here.
Yeah, well, we were mentioning where do you get to go fish in Texas. Well, this is from Waco. So the white bass and crappie fishing is really good in Lake Waco. And this was a trip that we went on a couple weeks ago, and we did a pretty good job.
Well, what did you catch those on?
We were catching the white bass mainly on roadrunners, and then the crappie mainly on live minnows or jigs.
And a good tasting fish.
Oh yeah, crappie are fantastic.
Oh, you got a little man here.
Yeah, well, I had to get him to shoot a deer when he was young. So
he's about 1 month old?
Yeah, he's about 1 month or 6 weeks old here, and we went out to one of my advisors' places, and I was able to shoot a deer, and had to get a picture with one.
You ran some hunters out there, some guys?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's plenty of hunters there in Texas. So here's some of our pompano catch. This is during COVID, I decided, why don't we just come to the beach and work remotely? And we had a very good season on pompano.
Oh man! We're talking about the west end of the beach.
Yeah, this is west end of the beach, and here's one of these big black drum that we were able to catch on pretty light tackle. Always a fun fight catching those.
That is a lot of fun.
Yeah. We caught quite a few of those. We caught around 24 pompano. We caught around 4 limits. And here's kind of some more pompano, and those are some redfish fillets off some good-sized redfish we caught off the beach. And yeah, we got to do a little hunting.
Okay. All right.
So this is also during COVID. I called it my outdoor adventure time because we did a bunch of turkey hunting and fishing. And this bird actually we snuck up on. It's funny that bird was in the middle of a bunch of vultures.
Really?
Yeah, and when we turned the corner, all the vultures flew off. And he was sitting there strutting in the middle of them, so I was able to take him out right there.
He didn't get a memo, did he?
Yeah, no, he didn't. And this isn't one of the other turkeys we shot, so this was a triple beard bird.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, what's funny about this turkey is I actually passed him up one morning. So they had another Tom running with him that had probably a 12-inch beard on him, and, you know, when he was walking at me, I had no idea he had 3 beards.
Oh, wow.
But the next time we went down there, I went ahead and shot him, and that's where we got him.
Cool.
Right there, and he was a good healthy bird. Yeah.
What area is that roughly?
So we're up in Roanoke, Alabama.
Roanoke. Okay.
Yep.
Roanoke, Alabama. All right.
Yep. And there's another picture of that turkey.
All right.
And so this one right here,
This
is my old man. Yeah.
He's a good hunter now.
Yeah. This was a funny story. We
Tell me the story. They told the story the other night while we were eating, and I got a kick out of it.
So this was it was later in the morning, and you know, with turkey hunting, you know, they kind of stopped gobbling, and then you know, we decided to go try to scan some of the fields, and I turned the corner, and that bird was about 10 yards from me. And I can't believe he didn't see me, and we didn't bring the gun, of course, because we weren't expecting to see anything. So we had to run back up to our side-by-side, and we got the gun and came back down, and there was a hen that had kind of gone out into the open, and we had chased her off, and we figured that was it. Oh no, that bird just came running right at us, white head, all mad, running at us, attacking us, and you know, he's probably 20 yards from us, and my dad pulled up the gun to shoot him, and his safety was on, and that bird kept coming, and then he finally kind of figured it out when he got about 10 yards away, but then it was too late.
That's funny. Y'all survived the turkey attack.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty exciting. It was. I definitely had a really good laugh.
I know y'all did. That's a memorable trip right there. Okay, this next picture. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so this was one of our neighbor's daughters, and yeah, it was during COVID, so I wasn't very cleaned up.
That's okay.
But that was a good-sized redfish. She was able to reel in with me off the beach, and you know, I always think it's fun to give kids the outdoor experience. That's right. Yep, and there's another redfish off the beach. I always like to go when I'm down here at Christmas. We typically come for a week, and I always fish at night.
Oh yeah.
And all the big bull reds are out, and it's always a good time.
That's a great time to go.
Yep, and then here's some more white bass. I always have a good time with those, and Waco, catching a limit of them.
Okay. Well, that is a pretty good. I told them to send some just pictures in general. That's a pretty good collection right there. Outdoorsman. I'm very impressed with it. When you're out there fishing for those fish in Texas, is it out of a lake, a river, or what is it?
Yeah, mainly we get up into the river arms. So you get into the reservoir and you go up, you know, probably around to the first shoal that you can get to, kind of fish the pockets.
How deep are they?
The white bass right now, so they're running to spawn. I mean, you can catch them in 2 inches of water, really.
Wow,
but you know, one time we went out, we were catching them in 6 inches of water or so. But typically, you know, you'll get them kind of when you get into those pockets in the shoals, so 4 or 5 foot.
Now, when you're out there snorkeling, looking for the mussels and all, do you see all kind of other stuff too?
I do. Sometimes you find some good fishing holes when you're out there looking for the mussels.
You get to see them like in little holes and pockets and everything?
Yeah. So some of the memorable places, you know, Texas has a lot of rock in the bottom, so you can actually get under the bank. And you'll see these pockets around 6 feet. They go way back, and you'll go under there, and it'll just be loaded with brim and catfish and big bass.
Well, how do you get to them?
Well, I guess you just got to put a bait right there on the bank, and
I
it's
guess
real cool.
Remote control bait or something. That's something you can invent. Get on Shark Tank or something like that. Take the bait up under there and all. What kind of is there a lot of pressure out there on the fish? Or?
Yeah, especially around Austin, there's a lot. So, you know, typically when I go, I try to go 2 hours outside Austin just so I can get away from it. But
I understand that.
Yeah, even then there's a lot of pressure, especially this time of the year because everything's running.
Okay, we're going to take our final break. We got some more cool stuff to show with Dr. Chase Smith. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Well, I wish we had more time. I wish we had an hour show with Chase this morning because we got so much to go over. Let's quickly look at our fishing game times brought to us by Blue Water Outrigger down in Port St. Joe. Our time today, 10:10 to 12:10, and then tonight, 10:31 to 12:31. Real quick, I want to show one more picture. I showed this the other day, but this is, if you're a Southeastern Conference football fan, this picture is just one of the memorable ones all time because in 1935, University of Alabama went out to the Rose Bowl to play Southern Cal, and it was a legendary game, and it was that train went from Tuscaloosa to Los Angeles, and it was just a legendary story behind it. But the second person from the left, Chase, tell us who that right there next to the cameraman.
Yeah, that's my great grandfather right there. Yep. So that's Drew Brown's father.
Okay, up there in Jackson County, that area.
Yep.
That's interesting. So. Okay, now, I just look it up and all, and Johnny Mac Brown was on that train and all that. It was just real cool stuff. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, that's in the past. Now, also, when you're working, let's jump back to working on your master's degree. I was really fascinated. Your mom kept me posted on what you were doing on some of the studies about the bears.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us some bear stories.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear some bear stories.
So I'll give a little bit of background. So I was working with the FWC and the statewide abundance survey, and this was right before they opened the 1 year of hunting. And we were trying to get a kind of an idea of how many bears were around. And I remember them telling them, like, there's a lot more bears in the Panhandle than you think there are. And we had some pretty good stories, but one of my favorite ones, so when they were in Ocala National Forest. So in Ocala, there's just tons of bears in Ocala National Forest. We would actually get jelly donuts to attract them. And we'd go to the local Krispy Kreme here on 23rd Street, and they'd have a 55-gallon drum of old donuts for us to hang up. But the bears actually learned when they saw our truck that we had donuts. And in Ocala, they would wait for the biologists to go out to put the bait up, and they'd jump in the bed of the truck and grab the donuts and run off with them. Yeah, so I never had that happen to me personally, but they were, it was a blast.
That was funny now, to have seen that. And I know you're able to, you put the barbed wire around them, and you got the hair in them, and you track their DNA and all.
Yeah, so kind of the idea is you make these barbed wire corrals around trees, and then you hang the donuts in the middle, and it's almost like out of a cartoon. They'll kind of go through the barbed wire, and you can get a hair sample from them, and we can get genetic.
What are some of the things when you're finishing up with master? What are some of the things y'all learn about the bear population up here in the Panhandle? Is bear transient, or they move around a lot? Or what were some of the things?
Yeah, we didn't really get to do all that much after the hunt and all. Kind of.
They shot some of the subjects. So I was studying that.
So what I was planning on doing was I was going to kind of see what the connectivity was between Apalachicola and Eglin.
I remember the corridor.
And then there's corridor there, runs through MC
Did you still think that's a pretty strong corridor, you think? Or?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we've got, bears on Point Washington out there at the west end of the beach. And, I think they're still moving around between those two patches. But
you ever in touch with any of the guys back at the University of Florida? Y'all ever touch base anything on some things they're doing now?
I actually went down there this weekend. I caught up with one of my old professors. I hadn't seen him in 7 years, and he remembered me, so I was like, that's great. But the bear stuff, we really hadn't kept in too much contact, but it's always fun to talk about.
Now we got always a question I always like to ask people in your field and all. What about the Florida Panther? I know you've heard legendary stories.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories of them up here. I mean, I would never write it off.
Okay.
But if they are up here, it's probably every once in a blue moon.
Yeah. And they are, did you ever tell them about find some up there around Peace River in Tampa? They saw some up there.
Yeah.
But, at one time, there was a big population of panthers years ago.
Yeah, they're interesting because there's not many of them. There wasn't many of them about 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And they flew in Texas cougars.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, in order to rescue them. Yep. So they were
know that.
Yeah, they were inbred and looked all weird. Yeah, it's cool.
What about, I got a minute or two left, future plans with Chase Smith and his family?
Yeah, well, I'd really like to get a professorship in wildlife, this guy here taught me wildlife, and I really feel like I'd love to, teach wildlife to college students.
Well, if you hadn't got your doctoral degree, we could get you to high school here and teach outdoor education, but a little overqualified for outdoor education. So well, we got to get you closer back to home. I know Mom and Dad want you closer back to home.
Well, that's the plan. We're trying to get closer back. And
good deal. And there's some great universities. You've got Florida, Auburn, Georgia, Mississippi State that have big
wildlife programs.
I know you're very well aware of that. And we're gonna stay in touch with you and all. And I know you're busy now, but your mom is so good about just sending me a note every now and then about what you're doing. I really appreciate that, and it's such a pleasure to keep up with a lot of my former students, and especially in this field here, because that's sort of where you and I got connected in wildlife, and we're excited about the future. Now, this summer. You got any big plans for the summer, or do you work through the summer and all?
Yeah, we'll probably be working a lot. Parks and Wildlife, Fish and Wildlife Service, but I am going to go tuna fishing in the middle of the summer in Venice, Louisiana.
Venice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
we definitely need to send me some.
Yeah. Well, if we get anything good, we'll let you know.
Who all was going with you?
My cousin Butch. It was actually for his birthday. He was fishing with us out there when Coach Chester came, and it should be a good time.
And I know your little boy's growing fast. He's going to be up there, be catching something too. Taking him deer hunting.
Yeah, well, he's caught a couple of crappie, and he's had some fun.
Well, we're very proud of you and the things your endeavors and all, and want to wish you continued success. And next time you're in town, just make it a regular habit to touch base with us, and I go in there and fish, and your mom cook a meal like that again.
That's right.
See, their dad quite a cook.
Yeah.
So, and nice meeting your grandmother too.
Yeah.
Nice folks. And we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, buddy.
It's great to see you. Thank you.
Folks, we appreciate you watching Panhandle Outdoors. Do something good for your fellow man today. You have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.